So, welcome to Justice Served TV. Why are we here? You're asking. We said we were going to take the week off. Well, we are, to use a poker term, all in on the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case.
We obviously have no idea what a day off actually means. So what happened up in Salem, Massachusetts today? Well, we were there. We'll find out.
Justice, where are you? Michael and Linda are here.
Love you, Linda.
Where is justice? Will we ever find justice?
The courthouse the other day in the hallway, you're singing
Will
"Oh
we
Happy
know
Day."
justice when we see it? To be and down may I lead the way, hoping justice will win the day. Listener clues, finding justice where we can. Join us now, we're on the run. Justice is waiting, we'll see it done.
Hey, good to have everybody along. I am in the mobile studio. As I was setting up, of course, then the clouds opened up. Raining, but this will just have to do. How you doing there, partner?
I'm doing really well. I actually took 4 hours off. I went to the casino, played a poker tournament, made a final table, and then the first hand I was out with Ace King when I flopped a nut flush. For people that play poker will know what they're talking about. And my adversary to the left ended up with the full house. But I had a great time just clearing my mind for 4 hours so that I could watch everything that you were doing on TV. My God, Michael, you are the energizer.
Oh, brother. Would you call that a bad beat? Your hand there? Was that a bad
Yeah,
beat?
it's kind of a cooler. I guess it's more of a cooler. I would say. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. But I actually did take a half an hour off to talk about a case, so that may have helped. But yeah, this was supposed to be our week off. But we can't take any time off, can we?
Well, this case is so important, and that's why we've been there, and we will continue to be there. Got some very positive feedback from folks who've been watching us and our coverage, including Stephen, who is Kelsey Fitzsimmons' father, and Will, who is her stepfather, and Lauren, who is the mother. And there's a quick interview we may share with you. It's been posted, but a couple of minutes we may share that during the course of tonight's show as well. So yeah, the usual supporters were there. And they say to me, "Hey, Dave, where's Linda?" No, they just want to know where Linda is. Anyway,
well, you know what? I should say that next week I will be taking some time away from you again because I have to try a case next week.
Anybody involved in that we know? Anybody?
I have a very good co-counsel, shall we say that? So I'll be busy next week and trying a case. And I also did an interview, by the way, just so you know, for this coming week up with Doug Weinstein this morning before I left. And that's going to air Friday at 6 p.m. And if you want to hear and weigh in, it's we call it the legal, non-political, political interview about the Comey Letitia James dismissal indictment. So I'm sure we're going to get a lot of comments on that 6 o'clock Friday evening if you want to hear Doug.
All right, I will tune in for that. So next week I will be back in this part of the world for Brian Walsh, which begins opening statements are next Monday. I'll be here Monday and Tuesday for sure. After that, it gets a little sketchy. So we will try to soldier on without LKB and probably get some guest host assistance, but there's going to be a lot going on with that case anyway. So
yeah, and there's a lot happening. I had a whole list of guests that we were going to call, and now we may put them off to the following week. We'll see how much you can handle because as the Energizer Bunny, we are also super person, and I don't want to break you.
I know maybe reach out, maybe we'll get Will on one night, maybe we'll get Scott on one night, some of the usual suspects, just to go through, this version of Norfolk County. I mean, does it ever end? And again, for those who may not be as familiar, Brian Walsh accused in the death, disappearance, and dismemberment of his wife, although he's pled guilty to disinterment, which to me makes absolutely no sense since they never found a body. So how do you disinter a body you've never found? I don't know. But he's pled guilty to those items. So only thing on the table is this pesky murder charge, which he cannot plead guilty to. He has to go to trial on that.
And remember, he's still facing that sentencing on the fake Andy Warhols. Okay, so I mean, he's got a lot going on,
and that's not in the pretrial motions. That's not coming in any great detail, but they should be able to provide that he was convicted of a felony involving fraud or misrepresentation. That would come in, but they may not get the details about what it was, the anti-Warhol frauds. Just the fact that it was a conviction, federal conviction, and it related to fraud.
Fraud. I love it when you can cross-examine people on fraud. I look forward to cross-examining people on fraud, especially main witnesses. I think cross-examining on fraud, and you don't need a conviction. You just need to be a liar to be cross-examined.
Well, that's just it. The word fraud pretty well tells you you're setting them up for what it is. If they've been convicted and or suspected and or ultimately charged with, if you can get to the fraud, it's based on lying. So,
well, you can always get to the lying. Okay, you can always get to the lying.
Not that either of us expect Brian Walsh to take the stand. I don't think that's a chance in hell.
Well, I saw that. I think there may be a possibility. Wouldn't that be interesting?
There's always a possibility. Is he going to be that arrogant guy that thinks he's going to help himself?
Oh, I think there are a lot of people who get on the stand under oath and are arrogant and think they can fool the courts because they fooled the courts in some way in the past, or because they think they're better than you. But, cross-examination is a great level for those that lie.
Yep, it's the best part. And you get the truth through cross-examination.
Yep.
So speaking of arrogance, for those who didn't catch the hearing earlier today, and shout out to Amanda at Law Girls Not Attorneys, I'll give you what happened in the courtroom behind the scenes before we get to this clip. So I go in there. I had requested to be the camera for the streamers, right?
Right.
We weren't sure whether a commercial camera was going to show up or not. It did, from Channel 7 in the area there. And they were flummoxed by my request, and I don't blame them. The clerk was very sweet. The clerk was very helpful. She brings me up after I get to the counter, the bar, and I'm basically saying, because even though I'm an attorney, I don't go into the well of the court without permission. I'm not just going to charge in there. Right. So I said, hey, I asked for permission.
Can I just stop you for a second?
Yes.
For people that don't know, you can't go into the well unless you are an attorney. When you pass the bar and go through that little gate thing that's passing the bar, that's called the well. So non-attorneys, unless the judge allows it with permission, are not allowed into the well of the courtroom. So we're glad that you didn't get arrested.
Yeah, no, I mean, as an attorney, I have every right to do that. But if I don't have a matter being heard, it's, I respect the process and the court. So the clerk brings me up, says, here's what we got. And it looked like something out of the Epstein files, all redacted. The email I sent, redacted, just black lines. I said, well, now you know how I feel when I ask for documentation from the court. But I don't know how we couldn't figure out how it happened. So I had to, while I'm in court, do a new short version of it to send to her. Then she says, well, Channel 7's already here. They're recording. I said, well, that doesn't matter. Under Rule 119, you get a traditional broadcast and you can have a streaming. And so I'm streaming. And so she had to advise the judge, educate the judge about that. That's Judge Drexler. I was told before the hearing it was going to be the very famous Judge Kathleen McCarthy Naaman, but it wasn't. And I think that was not by accident after the history between Mr. Bradel and the court prior to this. Mm-hmm. So they had to educate him as to there can be two. Okay, so that's part one. So then Amanda is there, and we have to get them on and chat with them. It's a mom and daughter. She's a paralegal and a PI, and her daughter is 16 and has been totally into this for a couple of years, right?
Right.
So if she doesn't go to law school, it's a total waste. So she said, well, I was just going to record it. And I said, well, I think they want a request and they want all that paperwork. So when they allowed me, the administrator came out and said, okay, we got your follow-up. It's fine. Is there any other streamer here that was going to? I said, well, Amanda's here, but she didn't do an official request. So we got together and I said, look, you're going to do it live. I really wasn't set up to do that. I said, I'd rather see it out there live via your camera, and we'll just take that from you at some point. And that's what we agreed to do. So she streamed it, and so we could get it out there.
And it's giving it to us, giving us a copy.
Yes. Yeah, and as it turns out, the one that was shot by 7 and then rebroadcast by Channel 10 is the one we're going to show you here. Horrible audio. When I did the video at the last one, I strung a microphone, as did the guy who was from, I think he was at 25. That guy didn't show up today. Different guy. He didn't even put a microphone on the podium. So the sound he's getting is the wild sound from his camera.
The
which is
lectern.
brutal.
The
The lectern. Let me think. Was it a lectern? Yes, it was. It wasn't a podium. You're correct. It was a lectern. But he didn't put anything on anything. And so, as you know, if you saw any of it or saw some of the stills, Kelsey Fitzsimmons is behind the glass, like, Bachelorette number one.
Can you explain this to me? When I went to Bermuda to watch a trial, because my husband was testifying in one, they had the defendant and they put them in a cage, literally a cage with glass in the middle of the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain this to me, please?
I can explain it as best I can. It's a throwback to old England. That's just
Lucy,
the way
Lucy,
they did
Lucy, do some explaining.
That's what they used to do. And these New England towns cling to some of these old ridiculous processes. But here, and that cues up exactly where we're going to go, because we can't listen to all of this, Judge, speaking of the arrogance I mentioned before, but you get a sense of it just from this little clip Missy's going to play, which relates to Kelsey Fitzsimmons behind the glass. Remember, they had to bring in a habeas application just to get her across state from Chicopee, where she's staying. And I'll tell you more about that. I talked to three of her parents and give you a sense of what's going on in the jail. But she gets hauled over here 2+ hours, and then she has to stay behind the glass. Missy, go ahead and roll this very early part of the hearing.
Calling number 22 on the list, Commonwealth versus Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Document number 2577, CRE 11. Counsel, please identify themselves.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. James Fitzsimmons on behalf of the Commonwealth. Hello, Your Honor. Timothy Bradle on behalf of Kelsey Fitzsimmons.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Martha Tooley on behalf of Kelsey Fitzsimmons as well. All right, good afternoon.
Judge, can I ask as a preliminary matter if Ms. Kelsey might be permitted to join us? Ms. Fitzsimmons might be permitted to join us at the council table.
No, I only do that for a change of plea, a trial, or an evidentiary motion to suppress, and I don't see why I should treat her any differently from anybody else. So the answer is she's here at your request, but no, I'm not going to let her sit at council table. Otherwise, I have to
Terrible.
allow that.
I'm sorry. Can we stop Missy for 1 second? This is the worst sound I think I have heard in a very long time.
And
Okay,
if I were doing this, that wouldn't happen. But this is the shooter for a 7. Didn't put a microphone out there.
Yeah, and can you just explain? So that's Kelsey behind the glass.
There's Kelsey.
I mean, not able to speak with her attorney on a hearing.
Oh, they could wait. Let me correct that. They they spoke quite a bit beforehand.
Yeah, but like when things are happening in a courtroom.
Here's what. Let me give you the translation that you couldn't hear. And Missy, if you could, we don't necessarily need to hear any more of the arrogant judge talking about how dangerous it could be to put her out in the courtroom. But if you could zoom ahead a little bit, just where they push in on Kelsey, just so people can see, what she looks like and how she seems. Is that as tight as they get? Is that that shot?
Wait a second. The judge, I missed something here. The judge called her dangerous to put her.
Well, no, yeah. Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
I'm sorry. I missed this.
Tim Bradle says right out of the gate, says, Your Honor, can we get my client out here at the table instead of back in the soundproof booth at the game show? And he said, no, I can't do that. We got her here at your request. So already he's pissy about the habeas, right? We got her here at your request. And I'll tell you what he said later that gives you some indication as to why. Oh, my lights are coming on. Somebody breaking into my mobile studio. Curious. Anyway, we'll see what happens here. I may be blinded. So he's asking, can she just come out here and be at the table? No. If I do it for her, I have to do it for others that might be more dangerous, because I can't just make an exception, obviously. If I do it for one person, I got to do it for everybody, which is, of course, ridiculous. You're the freaking judge. You get to make decisions independent, based on, there's no rule somewhere that says they have to stay in there or have to come out. But he's decided that if I help her, then I got to help everybody.
But did he say that she was a dangerous?
No, he basically alluded to others that might be dangerous, and this would set a precedent. So if she comes out, dangerous or otherwise, but remember the 58A hearing is a dangerousness hearing. That's what it's about. That's why she's in jail, because Judge McCarthy Naaman decided that because of the scram issues that we've talked about so much, she was dangerous potentially to Officer Noonan.
And as somebody points out, Brian Walsh gets to sit next to his attorney now that and stand up in court and laugh and smile now that he's even pleaded guilty to having that hacksaw with that piece of bone chip on it and dismembering her. And who's the other defendant that's charged with murder that's probably going to go free because of the Proctor?
Miles.
Miles, right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he gets to sit next to it. But Kelsey Fitzsimmons, look at her, a former law enforcement officer, former corrections officer, about 100 pounds soaking wet, who's been shot in the chest, has bullet fragments in her chest, near her lungs, near her liver. She can't come out and speak to her attorney. Well done, Massachusetts. You're looking like a bunch of assholes.
And so what Tim said was, well, Your Honor, then if I, in the midst of this, if I need to talk to her, I hope the court will let. Oh, of course you can. Of course, there were times where he was kind of signaling back and forth to her, like, do we need to talk? And she was kind of non-committal. And so he never did stop and go back into the soundproof booth and have a further conversation with her. See this bailiff here in the foreground? Super nice guy. All the court officials, the clerk, nice
people.
Probably because they've been beaten down by Judge Drexler.
Well, your experience has been that the court officials have been fabulous up there, right? And even when you were dealing with Chief Rose over.
Yep, Chief Rose, very nice in Dedham.
Sacco Vanzetti in Dedham, in the Sacco Vanzetti courtroom.
And we'll have our reunion next week for the Brian Walsh case. So anyway, I just wanted to give a little flavor of the hearing, and it didn't go any better than that. It seemed to me, in my opinion, the judge his default position was the Commonwealth's right. You're wrong, Mr. Bradel, representing Ms. Fitzsimmons. Convince me otherwise. And they were talking primarily about discovery issues. There are three pending discovery motions. That wasn't the reason for the hearing. The hearing was going to be just, let's set a trial date. That was it. But Mr. Bradel said, hey, we've got these three problem issues with discovery. Can we address them now? First of all, it pisses me off when you have to go to court and have the judge do what you should be able to do yourselves. And when you heard Gabatosi, excuse me, I thought I was sneezing. Gabatosi, when you heard his discussion about why he hadn't complied with or been hesitant.
Explain to people who he is. We know.
He is the Commonwealth attorney who's been assigned. He's the assistant district attorney, however they couch them here in Massachusetts. He's been assigned this case. I was talking to
by the way, before you get there, we did a full hour review of some of the discovery requests by Timothy Bradel to the Commonwealth. I don't think we've played that yet.
Yeah, I think I think it is coming up. No, I think it played today.
Yeah. Oh, did it play this morning?
Yeah, I think it was on this morning.
Probably when I was playing poker. It was
yes, we did that ahead of time. And I was talking to Courtney, who is the paralegal for Tim. I said, so what's the deal with this Gabatosi guy? It seems to me, because you heard him in the hearing with McCarthy, Naaman, he was mute. I mean, he really said not much of anything. And I said, is he green or just not good? What is it? And he's not green. So I'll leave you to figure out the rest. So he's there, and he, at this point, is trying to convince the court that he's either complied with the discovery request, and therefore things like, some of the things were very interesting, like disciplinary matters that affect the three officers. Remember, three officers were at her home on June 30th when this incident took place. Just give me some background on these three officers. Disciplinary issues, frank hearings. What are frank hearings? Those are the hearings that relate to whether or not they've been untruthful in some proceeding. And they want to be able to use that, again, as a liar, use that in this case to suggest that anything we hear from these guys in this case may or may not be true because
courts always protect the cops.
They've been caught lying.
Yeah, but of course they always protect the cops. They seldom give you over.
Now they're protecting the prosecution as well, because the court went on and on about, well, Mr. Bradel, you can't imagine that they would go through all of these different cases. Some of these prosecutors have been here for 20 years, and that, totally letting them off the hook for any sort of administrative duties they might have. Like, hey, if a guy's been, he didn't ask for being put on a Brady list, that should be public. If any of these three officers are on a Brady list, that should be out there.
And explain to everybody what a Brady list is, because it's a pretty new concept, this whole concept of Brady list.
Yeah, it's so funny. After Karen Reed, we've heard so much about it, that in Rule 14, that we just kind of take it as a secondhand language.
It's not in every single state either.
No, and basically it's a dishonesty, and you put them on the list, which basically challenges their honesty in any case going forward, or any case backwards. And so if you're on the Brady list, you're screwed. You might as well do the Dever and just get into some other line of business. So that a lot of these requests focused on those kinds of background issues with these 3 officers, and there was some hesitancy to bring forward that material. You'll like this. One of the other things they asked for, video. They wanted video. Remember the day of the incident, Kelsey Fitzsimmons went to the cop shop, as I call it, to get her CPR certification redone. Remember?
Right, because she had been out, if everybody doesn't know, she had been out because she had the postpartum depression and the maternity leave, and then she got recertified. Everyone said she's ready to come back because she sought treatment for the postpartum depression, not postpartum psychosis, postpartum depression, which so many women have and so many women talk about. And so she had to go back to be recertified for her CPR. And she was in the police station the day that she was shot, that the baby was taken away from her.
With the baby. Anyway. She had the baby with her when she went for the recertification.
You can't tell me there's no video of that. You're telling me there's
no video. Well, they say that this is what's weird. They hadn't produced it, but Gubitosi, excuse me, he said that that it does exist. And so they are going to get that video. It was one of the questions I asked the folks on the courthouse steps. I said, are you confident you're going to get all the video that's out there? Of course, I'm alluding to many of the other instances in which we've seen
it be inverted?
No video, inverted video, gaps in the video. But he believes they're going to get it all. We'll see. What they want to see is her interaction with everybody at the cop shop when she's there, just hours before this happened.
Didn't she pass the recertification?
She did. She did.
She's right there. She's right there. That patient's in the police station. I mean, how did Timothy Bradle react when it comes to this? Because he really, I mean, he's been a fabulous attorney. He's got these cases. He's doing a great job. And these judges are treating him like shit. Let's put it that way. Okay?
It just feels like the 2 attorneys he's dealt with, McCarthy, Naiman, and now Drechsler, who also took care of some of the very early matters, as I understand it, as I read the docket. They just seem to have this attitude that, why are you bothering us? What are you wasting our time for? So speaking of time, ultimately the judge said, we're going to set a trial date. And I know maybe, things happen along the way. He talked about Kelsey Fitzsimmons, your client's, in custody now. Maybe that's going to change. I understand you have the SJC issue underway, but still, let's get this trial sooner than later. So they picked a date or a week. I think it's the second week in February, which I will not like personally if they go with that, because I'm going to be on another matter in Portugal. But hopefully it'll get changed. But right now, that's the tentative period. The judge said, let's just put it on the calendar. We have something to work toward. We'll see what happens along the way. And so I was asking Bradle, are you going to get everything you need? Does that feel like that's rushed based on this back and forth we saw in court today between you and Gubitosi? I don't know. He said no. I think it's going to be fine. They're talking about a 2-day trial. And, the judge was interesting. One of the interesting things he said was, this case, it's relatively straightforward. I don't know if I agree with that. In theory it is, but who knows the backstory, right? And he said probably take about 2 days to try it. That was his guess. And that's not really disputed by Bradle. And I'm not so sure it would be, but it's getting what you need to get to the trial is a bigger concern to me.
I have to interrupt you because I have to talk to you about something very important that's going on right now. And I'm glad we're streaming on X because we've been having this apparently. We think we know what's happening. We have just now been in YouTube has now already just tagged us for removal. You cannot
Which one?
watch this.
For this?
For this live that we're going right now talking about Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Yep. Well, that's what's being done right now. Missy just recorded to me. We've been having this issue. We think that somebody is now reporting everything we do on Kelsey Fitzsimmons, and then when we take out what is supposed to be a pretty bad or something that may be objectionable, right? Objectionable. It comes back to something else objectionable to the point where the last week's Kelsey Fitzsimmons, my wedding pictures came back as being objectionable. So we posted the whole thing on YouTube, on X, just so that.
So Paulie Claire says, what? I'm on YouTube. I'm not sure what they can do with a live. I really don't know. but
Yeah,
okay.
well, it's this
Well-
live stream is not being available right now.
Is
They
that what it
just did
says?
a
Is
thing,
that on?
right.
That's on X though. It says right.
That's on YouTube. That's on YouTube right now. Just
That
search
looks like
TV.
X
He
to
just
me.
took a screen.
What do I
Just took a screenshot of it. So
know?
anyhow, so get it
so-
quick. Maybe if you're already on it, you can't get back on it. Okay, you can't. Let's see. Say there you go. Live stream recording is not available. There you go. All right. So maybe if you're on it, it's okay, but no one else can get on it. So we're going to have to deal. We may have to call Mark Randazzo about this because this looks like we are being attacked again by people that don't like what we're saying. If you're on YouTube watching us, you may be okay, but you probably can't get on it. There it is. Missy's got it live. The live stream recording is not available. Okay.
Yeah. So this is Donnie, not Wahlberg, is tipping you off to what I learned today, and that was that the dad, Justin A. Tipping you off to what I. Hey! I heard me. He has a PR firm now. I've been advised by sources, and I'm not sure if the PR firm counsels them on how to get things removed from the internet that they don't like. But we certainly believe, we don't know for sure, we believe that those episodes that were attacked and removed multiple times by YouTube, it was done so at the request of somebody who might have an interest in opposing Kelsey Fitzsimmons.
Because we wanted to post nothing but public material, and then when we take off the public material or blur it, something else comes out. To the point, as I said, we got to the point where after a number of times, the objection of the report was of my wedding video and my sharing my dinner with my husband with all of you on our silver anniversary. Okay, so and that's probably why that's we've already been flagged, just so you know. So whatever it is. It's not good. Okay. I thank you. I see a lot of you are on YouTube, but you saw that is being flagged.
Here's one here. It's not refreshing. That's interesting.
That's it. So
I was unaware that you could do something to a live feed.
Well, apparently you can if you were reporting it. Okay. So that's something, Michel Bryant, I'm going to have to leave to you to deal with, but let's go on.
Yeah. Thanks. Let's, let me think if there's anything else from the hearing itself, and then we'll listen to the attorneys from outside. That the upshot was, you guys get this discovery figured out. There is a follow-up hearing on December 19th. That will address any stray discovery issues between the parties. So we'll see if they really play nice and get that worked out. But that is set for the 19th at 2 in the afternoon. So in the meantime, the trial date is looming out there for mid-February, give or take. And is it progress? I suppose. But it doesn't help Kelsey. She's still in jail. I heard from her family. She's in basically solitary confinement, primarily for her protection. Now they use that phrase. That may not be they call it administrative segregation. I don't know about the facility there in Chicopee, but she's basically by herself for the vast majority of 24 hours. And that's because there's nothing else. That just reinforces how ridiculous it is to have her in jail as a cop, former correctional officer. She's getting an accommodation to keep herself safe, but who wants to be that isolated?
Yeah,
that's not healthy.
Let's just, while you're getting those ready about the interviews that we did today, let's go in and I posted this before. Let's thank CM Linehan. I hate when I mispronounce names. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Everyone always mispronounces my name. It's Kennedy, or it's Baden, or it's Bowden, or it's Biden. But whatever it is, as long as you call me Linda, it's fine. I prefer it anyhow. But thank you.
Thank you. Yes, appreciate that.
And we're trying to do more for members. I have to tell you a funny story. When I was at the casino this morning, I wanted to show you what it's like for me to, be in my casino, be in my poker clothes, and show you, walk into the casino, show you walking up to the poker room, and then I'd have to turn it off because you can't then photograph. In New Jersey, you're not allowed to photograph inside the poker room at all, especially if you're in a hand. But I wanted to show it to you, and I was so proud. I was going to show it to you, then I hit the stop of the video, and I realized I never hit the start of the video.
I saw some stills, though. I saw some stills.
Yeah, there were some stills and all. So my technological skills, and I will get back after I finish this trial. We do have a lot on who killed Stephanie Vilko, who murdered her and all. And we also have another case that we want to put up, and I haven't gotten back to Karina Homer. That will be doing so. And Michael does a lot for new members, including the book club. So thank you very much for joining.
I'm glad you mentioned that. We're not going to do book club tomorrow for obvious reasons with the holiday. One of two things is going to happen. And if you guys want to chime in, either we're going to do one more chapter / reading of You Might Be Going to Prison Even If You're Innocent, or we're going to do a new book starting week after next. So one way or the other.
We have the next 6 books lined up, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah. And it's nice. We have the author come on the first time, chat about it, and then we get into it on our own in the subsequent subsequent weeks. So.
Scott McGinnis, thank you, Scott. Fantastic work, Michael, today. I can't say enough. You're always there. I couldn't go to Salem today. Don't worry about it, Scott. You may be co-hosting with Michael next week.
That's right.
I need backup, so
put that on your calendar, bud.
Put that on your calendar. Yeah. Okay. So you may be doing a co-hosting with Michael. There you go again. Thank you, Kimmy, for saying that. I appreciate it. You'd be surprised how many people decide they want to try to hurt you. Not that I really give a flying bleep, right? Oh, you're like a miserable. You're a skeleton. You're like this. You're like that. Come try a case with me. I'll just kick your ass. It's okay.
Yeah. All right. And those are rare. Those comments are so rare.
But I love to post them because people are just so ridiculous. I like to repost them. I want to do a whole show of just posting those comments and calling people out, inviting them on the show, to come say them on the show to my face. That's what I want to do.
Nobody has the guts to do that.
No, I know that.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, you have a few more there? Okay.
Karen said she can't post. Okay, let's see what happens. We'll see what happens as we go along. Okay, so you were saying I was just giving.
Yeah, let's just run the post-hearing interviews. I think it's 10 minutes of chat outside the courthouse. Oh, thank you for. I can't read who it is, but just so I get. Oh, it's the wrong one. Wait, hold on. I know I got to find it here. I got equal time. There we go.
I'll talk to you about shopping later on because we also have Rip and Reads and we have shopping. We have so much to do tonight. Oof.
Thank you, ML Loving Life. So there, Linda Kenney Baden. Okay, let's listen to this and then we will rejoin after this.
I don't hear anything yet.
I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah.
We got some audio there. We got some audio. I hear no audio.
It. I hear no audio either. There we go.
Kelsey Fitzsimmons, of course, we believe is innocent. She believes she's innocent. She looks forward to her day in court. So we are working towards that, and we are confident that we will get there. There's a lot at stake for everybody, obviously, and you can see the judge understands that this case should go to trial. And Fitzsimmons looks forward to her day.
Is that Michael Bryant? Wait a second, Michael Bryant.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Oh, I always forget.
The former governor?
Co-counsel, and I always forget her name.
Maura Healey, former governor, former attorney general.
What name?
Maura Healey?
No.
Yeah.
No, that's not her.
That's not her?
That's not her.
Okay, I thought it was. Okay.
She's another attorney of record that her mind has, her name has escaped my brain.
Okay, all right.
It is not. There you go, Martha Coakley. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, Martha Coakley. I apologize. Former attorney general, former governor, right? Isn't she the former attorney general? She's the one who wrongfully convicted the nanny years ago. Former attorney general Martha Coakley. I think she ran for governor, didn't mean she convicted the English nanny years ago.
I'll have to vet you on that.
Oh, go vet me. I'm right. Trust me. If I were a waging woman, okay. All right. So, yeah, we'll see. So far, I haven't seen her do much, but
Proctor-like conduct of any investigation.
I'm going to give this to Attorney Bradle.
Discovery is ongoing. You do this in every case. We're not suggesting there is or there isn't. We're saying we want to know. So that's what our motions are all about. And let's see what the Commonwealth comes back with. We don't want to disparage anybody that has a clean record, but to the extent somebody doesn't, we want to know about it.
Do you have any information that we don't know about that?
Mike, excellent question.
You know why I'm asking.
Right. We have to go slow. I know the case is frustrating the pace of these cases is frustrating, especially when someone is wrongfully in custody, as we've contended here, that there's no reason Kelsey should be in custody. This case should be handled, as they say, she should be helping to defend this case from the street. And we have a lot of faith in our SJC appeal, and we have a lot of faith in the SJC and the Constitution that she's going to be defending this case from the street very soon. And so we're very optimistic about that. Meanwhile, we can come to the Essex Superior Court and kind of pursue these discovery issues. We're working with the Commonwealth. It's been they've been very reasonable. They've given us a lot of discovery. Oftentimes, as I said to Judge Drexler, when you look at discovery, it kind of begs the question of more discovery. And that's the purpose of our third discovery motion, is that we want more. And I expect that we can work it out with the Commonwealth without involving the court kind of on a number to number basis in our motions. I know that's difficult for the courts with the time crunch, especially around the holidays with so many cases they have. They are often reluctant to go into, number by number of a discovery motion. And I think here today, Judge Drexler just, waded into a few things. We waded into a few debates about things back and forth. He has his opinions on things. I have my opinions. He's the judge. So we have to approach it that way. And I'll be talking to the district attorney's office about finishing that off. And whether that begs the question of more discovery, we'll see. There's a lot of statements out there that we want. We don't have the ballistics information yet. That's a very important issue here. And there's a lot that we have to do. And we have to hire our own experts as well. So,
do you have any indication when the SJC will take up the detention matter? Will it be before February 9th?
I'm very confident it will be. In
so
fact,
he should know it's on the 3rd they're deciding.
The case is being submitted to the SJC panel on December 3rd. So that's coming up. That's next week, mid next week. So I think that the SJC has expressed a very appropriate credence for the fact that she's held, and that these things need to be speedily decided. That's what the Supreme Court says. This relief needs to be speedy if it's to be effective. That's Stack versus Boyle. And we've cited that, and that's what's going on. I think they are honoring that, as they must, and we appreciate it. And I think it's going to be quick. The holidays are a tough time for people in jail, and especially for people that shouldn't be in jail.
Could her health resolve enough for her to take the alcohol testing and resolve the issue that way?
Everything's on the table. We're looking at everything, and
she's tried again to do the alcohol testing.
We're working on it, and it's a possibility. We are pursuing the SJC appeal, and that's where we're going with this.
And we do expect that quickly after December 3rd.
Absolutely.
To Attorney Bradle's point, these issues of custody where time is of the essence means, and we expect fully that they will move quickly once they have the papers from both sides, which they do now, very soon after December 3rd.
With a hearing or just on papers?
Just on papers.
Right.
Mr. Bradle,
Missy, can you stop it real quick?
I just want to ask your take on the proposed trial date. Are you concerned that it's rushing things along? Are you going to get what you need?
No, I think it's fair. I think we can get it done in that time frame. And we can always revisit, as the judge said, quite appropriately, we can always revisit it. If there's good reasons why we can't do the case on that date, then I have no concerns that the court wouldn't accommodate that.
How did you feel about the judge's characterization of the case as serious but not complicated?
Interesting. As far as the charge goes, the single charge here, it's a charge that could have been prosecuted in district court. It's a charge for which the sentencing guidelines make her eligible for a probation sentence, making it even more ridiculous that she's in custody. But she would never plead to this case. She would never say that she did something that she didn't do. So that's absolutely not on the table.
So what's the maximum penalty if she were to be convicted?
It's a 5-year felony. It's about the most entry level charge that you do in Superior Court.
Presumably, this would be time served every day she spent in jail.
You know what? That's so far away from where we're focused on the case. I don't even want to talk about it because it's never going to happen. I did tell Kelsey that you guys were on the highway and you said hello, and she sends her love, and she really means the world that you guys are all here, you know, especially this time of year. It's not easy. So thank you guys. And it means the world to us. And, you know, it's so important in this country that these rights not get swept under the rug. And I think sometimes in the press of court business, I think some judges just forget that. And I'm not suggesting today, but I think that happens sometimes, that we're these 58A rulings, everyone's under 58A, everyone's on a bracelet, everyone's under house arrest. You know, when you give the government a vacuum, they're going to fill it. And I'm really optimistic that this SJC is going to address that and really rein these things in, because the presumption is personal recognizance under the Constitution. And, you know, that's where we want to bring it back to.
Kelsey is in good spirits. We just met
Great.
with her.
Yes.
She's feeling, obviously she would rather be elsewhere, especially with the holidays coming. But she understands, she's a law enforcement officer, and she understands the circumstances of this case. And as the judge mentioned, itself may not seem complex, but there's lots of circumstances that go before this case and surround what happened that all will come out pre-trial and at trial. And so preparation for this case will require time to do it. But ordinarily, this is a case that could be, as the judge noted, tried in district court. Having said that, she understands that, and her patience is extraordinary to my mind, that she is keeping her spirits up, keeping her fingers crossed. And she does support, with all the support from her family and from all her supporters, some of whom are here. That means a lot to her as well.
Absolutely. We've been so bogged down with the process and the incarceration. We don't talk much about the merits. And I only have one question. I know there's only so much you can share. Is it normal to call the complaining TRO witness to the scene 10 minutes after the initiation of the TRO?
So, Michael, that's a great question. As always, it's a little bit too close to the merits of the case, to what's going to happen in the courtroom. And so I don't really want to litigate the particulars of the case out here on the sidewalk. But it's a great question. I know you're going to keep an eye on that. And, we'll have to see how that transpires in the courtroom.
I tried.
Yes.
What motions or filings should we expect from your office between now and the next hearing?
So, Josie, we're probably going to focus on some more discovery, some more follow-up motions. You heard Judge Drexler mention that it didn't look like there was a motion to suppress in the case. Some cases just don't have every motion under the sun, and that's the case here. We want to get this to trial. We don't need to focus on that in this case. We will also be doing some motions in limine, which is Latin for at the threshold, which is at the threshold of trial. We are going to file motions that will seek to control and direct the evidence at trial, but that's a long ways away.
And then I just have one more question. Did the judge's comments today signal any concerns we should be prepared for?
Well, I think Judge Drexler is a very experienced judge. I've known him a very long time. I actually had cases against him a million years ago when we were both lawyers, and I have a ton of respect for him. I don't think that there's anything that he said that causes me any particular concern. I'm being a defense lawyer. He's being a judge, and that's perfectly fine.
He is so diplomatic.
Him now, or will it ever go back to another judge? Or
We always have a surprise for you in our system where the judges rotate. There's always a roulette wheel on that, and we'll see who shows up.
Are you confident you're getting all the video evidence that might exist?
It sounded to me like the prosecution is perfectly adherent to all the discovery rules. I don't see any problems. I think we're going to be have a lot of stuff to go through pretty soon.
Were the officers wearing body cameras?
There's no body cameras.
No body cameras.
Right?
No doors.
No doors. That's true.
No doors.
And those are the kind of facts that we'll try to stay off the sidewalk, and we'll try to keep them in the courtroom. No, that's okay.
What about the conflicted statements?
So Mike, that's a big part of the case is, we don't have any hard evidence, anything to focus on. So we're going to have to scrutinize all that very closely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great
I
Thanksgiving.
have to say,
Good job.
my colleague from 5 was a lot of those questions. Most people following this case know it's a 5-year max. Most people know that there were no body cam videos. My question related to the CPR video and any others. How could you trust anybody to give you what may or may not be out there? We know the history in Massachusetts. So to me, the default is, what are you hiding?
But he did confirm no doors. No doors.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
think
did
that was
confirm.
Amanda, law girls, not attorneys. And the questions being asked by the young lady right to my left, that's Josie, her 16-year-old daughter, who had written down these questions. She's well on her way. I said, "Can you write some questions for me, please? Just a couple of things."
I think that Tim Riddle, he knew what you asked.
Oh my gosh!
How great those questions are.
He's not going to get his caught in a ringer just answering
he knew
a
what you
question
were
like
asking.
that.
As a matter of fact, we're going to remind everybody, before you just go on with one thing, I just want to show one thing if I can. I'll find it in a second. Here we go. I just want to show one thing, Michael, that we didn't get a chance to talk about it, because I want to remind everybody that Justice Serve TV, you and I have agreed to pay for any testing for Kelsey Fitzsimmons that comes out. We're not asking for donations or anything. We've agreed at Justice Serve TV just to pay for it. I did find, and this was interesting today, that on September 10th, in the middle of all that hearing, Jeff January, the assistant chief probation officer, who was assigned to the case, he wrote to Tim. He said, "Sorry for the late email. It looks like the only alternative to scram testing is with AverHealth." And she could go to AverHealth, and it's a urine test, and she'd have to take the urine test without a breath test. And, so there was an alternative for the judge that the chief probation officer assigned to her case would have been able to go through. And if that's still available, we're still willing to pay for it, as we said. But there was an alternative. I was shocked to see, I can't say I was shocked, but I was shocked to see that somehow the judge, your favorite judge who put her in jail, never mentioned that.
She went out of her way to say, and all the papers filed subsequently at now the SJC, she went out of her way to say that there was no alternative suggested. No, well, because maybe if you had stayed on the bench and listened to Tim Bradle's discussion instead of bolting like you had to go to the bathroom, maybe
or listen to January.
I
told him, "I'm the judge. I tell you what to do. You don't tell me what to do."
Yeah, he said at one point, "We don't consider that non-compliance," and she said, "Well, I'll be the one to decide that." But I think he probably felt horrible, and that would lead to him writing that email to Tim saying, "Look, here's what else can I do? Here, let me give you this information." Because he was not allowed to do his job. And when he did, she just poo-pooed it. That's a legal phrase. She just poo-pooed it. And she's an embarrassment. I was hoping, just because I'm a kind of a sadist or masochist, that she was going to be on the bench for this today, just to see that dynamic again. Because remember, all we have is the audio. And speaking of that, waffling to the SJC now, talking to a few sources, they believe that not only was the audio submitted, but that there was a confirmation that Justice Dewar, don't have my Dewar prompt, did not listen to the audio. And remember, that was our speculation because the way it was written in her decision. I read the transcript. Well, she didn't listen to the freaking audio. Are you kidding me? Are you looking for a reason just to kick this down the road? Robes covering for robes, protecting robes.
I should write that down, because when we did our story last night, people asked for to have a whole segment on your please try to do the right thing. But robes covering for robes.
Robes. Did I say robes protecting robes? I think that was the original.
I think your original was robes. Robes was protecting.
I think it was robes protecting robes. And Stephen Fitzsimmons, who was very appreciative of what we've been doing. He mentioned that. He said, "Were you the one that did robes protecting robes?" I said, "Yeah, that's what it felt like to me, and that's what came out."
Yeah. By the way, Blessed Texas, Lolly, a member for 1 month. Love you and thank you for all you do. Free Karen Reed. Free Turtle Boy. We're trying. We're trying
Free
the best
Kelsey
we do.
Fitzsimmons. I know it's hard
Free
to keep
Kelsey
them all
Fitzsimmons,
straight in
I know.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. So and also, yeah, and you did get an interview, by the way, with the parents. Do you want?
Well, yeah, should we run that? It's just a couple of minutes before they were going to go in. I wanted to just get their take on, had they had any contact with Kelsey, what was happening there, and she gets to have a Zoom meeting. This is so ridiculous. She can have Zoom, right? 2 days a week. They offer 3 days. I think it's something like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Those 3 days are available, but you only get 2 of them. So I mean, what is the point? Why don't you just say you get 2 days and here they are? Where's she going? She could make it work, but why say, yeah, you can have 3 days, but only 2 of them can you actually use? So let's listen to this. This is Lauren, her mom, biological mom. And this is Will Page, the stepfather. And Stephen is the biological father. I've asked him a couple of times, hey, he's very appreciative of what we do, but he doesn't want to talk. And Bradel is fine with that at this point. So let's see if we can just watch that couple of minutes before the hearing. You're outside the courthouse here. This is before the hearing. We're most interested in how Kelsey's doing. Yeah.
I think she's had some ups and downs. Last week was her birthday. This week's Thanksgiving. We're pushing on to the Christmas time frame, and she's a fighter. And some days she may be down a little bit, but other days she comes back fighting. So it's ebb and flow depending on what's going on the outside too with holidays. So,
Mom, I hear you get some Zoom time.
Yep, we get 2 hours a week on Zoom, and that's it. 2 hours.
What do you make of that? I mean, it's got to be brutal just to be that distanced. I mean, how's she doing?
She's a fighter. She's hanging in there. She has wonderful support and community support. That's what's keeping her going. All the love and support that she has.
And you're talking about your daughter. She's in jail without her son. Can you give us some perspective on that?
It's horrific. She hasn't seen her baby in 5 months, and it's awful. We've tried to see him and have been denied, and now we have to go through the court system to see him as well, a baby that we saw almost every single day.
Why do you feel that's being used against you? I mean, what's the allegation?
I wish I could answer that. I have absolutely no idea.
So what's the status on that?
So right now it's we get the order back from the court where we could serve Justin, and everything's out in process, and we're waiting to receive the paperwork back so we can get it back to the court.
Have you heard from the father why he doesn't want or has been fighting visitation?
No, I don't. I'm not really sure how the restraining order works, but if something gets said or does between a third party and the person with the restraining order, then it could hurt Kelsey, and we're not looking to do anything like that. So we've
had no contact.
Yeah, we just do the right thing and try to go through the court system and work how we're supposed to.
All right. Well, maybe some good news today, and I hope we can talk afterwards if there is.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I mean, they're victims as well of this whole mess. As a grandparent, I can put myself in their shoes, and I'd be pounding my fists on somebody. I mean, something.
And we'd all be defending you. And along with that, you can see that Charlie J. Lynn, 143, get the One Justice Serve TV membership. That's already been given out. For that, you have to be a subscriber. And
speaking of that, can I interrupt?
Yes.
I thought about this when we started, and then I forgot. We don't know what the hell's going on with YouTube subs or other things they're doing to squash us, but we need about 20 subs to get to 33,000. That's it. And we've been kind of stuck in this spot for a long time. So I thought in an hour, we got to be able to get 33 subs. If you haven't subbed, just hit the button. It's really painless. Helps us with the algorithm and helps give us some, encouragement. So
encouragement, and thank you for gifting that one Justice Serve TV membership, because they do cost money. People appreciate them. For a lot of money, $2.99 a month is a lot of money for people. Hopefully, we're trying to do more for our members, but we all love you, and whoever got that already, I'll guarantee you, is very, very, very happy. So thank you so much, Charlie J. Lynn, for that. We really, just really appreciate it. I mean, I can't say enough about everyone who helps here and who's part of this incredible community that's really only a little over a year old. So, subscribe, subscribe, but that's not the end of the show.
Right.
We've got a lot of things
going
on.
I should have mentioned that earlier. One other Kelsey Fitzsimmons tidbit, and that, there was the fight over the house and the equity, and there was a rush to get that all handled because Justin, the dad, wanted the equity in the home because he's going to have to take care of that baby that he's got for 18 years. That was the theory. The home closed on November 7th, sold for $555. We believe there's roughly $200,000 in equity, which has now been squirreled away. And the father, Justin A., is getting, what is it, $12 a week? Is that what it is right now?
Yeah, I think that's what the court had ordered.
Yeah, $12 a week.
So
the rest of that money is protected, still to be fought over.
Yeah. And Donnie Not Wahlberg gifted 5 Justice Serve TV
Thank you,
memberships.
Donnie Not
Thank you, Donnie Not Wahlberg, because thank you very much. I think we're up to having 17 more to get to 33,000. So keep it up, everybody, as we're going to go here.
Just like a telethon.
Speaking about Donnie Not Wahlberg, oh my goodness gracious! Wait a second, you're gifted Kay. I have to reach in. I'm sorry, only because of Kay. It went past me. Ista gifted another 5 Justice Serve TV memberships. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. You can always email us at justiceservetv@gmail.com and tell us exactly. You have no idea when these scrolls they're going very fast for this. But thank you so much for the gifted memberships.
Yeah, I already see somebody got one. Can I show that? Let's see.
Yeah. There you go. Right. We have those say they just get randomly assigned. If you are subscribing. So, and you get a membership. And there, Holly Ann Crow, again, thank you for the gifted membership. Yes, thank you for everybody who's so generous here. But, we have a lot of rip and reads to do and a lot more to talk about.
I almost forgot about that.
But we also have, since Donnie Not Wahlberg, we're going to talk a little bit about shopping, because all of you last night asked for a lot of things for us to be put on the shopping list for Christmas holidays and for the regular holidays, for all religious holidays, just as little stuffers. And so we did a lot of them, and all of them are pretty PG rated except for one.
Yeah, one of them has a lot of blanks where the letters would be. Yes,
there's a lot of money signs where the letters would be. But yeah, we had some rip and reads, and then we'll get back to both Kelsey and we'll get back to the store.
All right, hold on. Don't rip and read yet. All right, now it's official.
Okay. Yes. So we have more thank yous for the Justice Serve TV membership. Okay. All right. So in the death of the 18-year-old Anna Kepner on the Carnival Cruise Line, guess what? It has been ruled a homicide. Now, a homicide is a death at the hands of another. As we know, likely that means it's either a murder or a manslaughter in legal terminology, but it has been ruled a homicide,
and
just so you know.
Her brother is the chief suspect. Just bizarre. They find her wrapped in a blanket under the bed. Now, if anybody's taking a cruise, unless you've got one of the major, suites, they're not very big. Right. So these two, the brother and sister, were sharing this room, and they find her basically under the mattress, wrapped in a blanket, covered in life jackets.
Yeah, and apparently it's bar asphyxiation, which must be means an arm to the neck. It is incredibly, and it may be the stepbrother, incredibly horrible. And then the Supreme Court today did issue opinions on the confrontation clause and post-conviction relief. Like the things the Supreme Court's supposed to do. It actually sent a case of a man convicted of abusing his daughter back because they hid her from being the cross-examined, and this came as an unsigned opinion, by the way, and it said send it back. We got to see whether or not this will she should have been cross-examination behind, like the veil of secrecy, or whether there should be whether the screen should have been removed. What we're talking about in courts and all. So, and then they did a lot on post-conviction relief. I'm not going to read it all, but these are the cases that the Supreme Court should be dealing with. Take a look at them, and you'll get an idea of what lawyers were doing before, like 10 months ago. And that's just the way it is. And then remember, yesterday I reported about one of the House defendants, Tully, being remember,
served,
Tully served, right? Because he's always been hiding behind. And we need 14 more subscribers, by the way, to get to that 33,000 number. Tully. Well, guess what? Today there has been more acceptance of service on behalf of defendants Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, and Brian Higgins.
Oh, the Higgy.
Higgy, yes, the House defendants have been served. I love that naming of the House defendants. That's such a great thing.
I wasn't able to keep up with that today. Were they all service accepted by one law firm on behalf of all of them?
Hold on, I've got to go down to my floor because I threw it on the floor already.
I would think Higgins might have a conflict.
It was accepted by James L. Tuxbury of Hinckley, Allen, and Snyder. Okay.
Let me ask my question again. That firm accepted for all of those defendants you mentioned?
Acceptance of service. That's what it says.
Wow.
So hold on a second.
Higgins
Defendants
and
Brian
McAlbert,
Albert, Nicole Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, and Brian Higgins through undersigned counsel hereby accept. All right. So he is accepted. Yes.
Well,
so
I guess if you're going to tell their story, then there's no conflict. But I can't believe it's not going to evolve into a conflict at some point.
Yeah. And in the middle of all this, we have Charlie J. Lynn, 143, gifted another 5 Justice Served TV members. Thank you for those gifted memberships. You have to be a subscriber to get them. I shall say that again. So I'm trying to get the last 13 subscribers so that we can get out of this show before Thanksgiving and get that.
We're holding the audience hostage.
No, we have a lot more to do. And then there was an interesting thing. Last night we had a rip and read on Mark Sanchez, or was it last night on Mark Sanchez, or did we do
it's going to be this weekend.
We taped something on Mark Sanchez because there's a new complaint. So we taped it. We're going to release it Saturday. It was a pre-taping that Michel Bryant and I did about an amended complaint. And one of the things you'll hear all about the amended complaint. But what happened today is the judge allowed the plaintiff, that's Perry Toll, the truck driver who was really had some brutal injuries. He gets to submit more than 25 interrogatories because usually there's a limit now on how many written questions, because people used to submit 500 written questions on interrogatories. Really an abuse, especially if you had you're just a single practitioner representing someone like Perry Toll. So now there's a limit, but he's allowing them to submit more to the new defendants, to the defendant and the new defendants. And you'll hear about the new defendant on Saturday when we discuss this case.
That's right. Let me ask you a practice question, maybe different than California. In California, to avoid that, overwhelming interrogatory issue, there are form interrogatories.
Yeah.
And you can add to those special interrogatories so that there's better protection. And if you need more, because you have a case that doesn't fit into the framework of form interrogatories, what do they do in New York?
Well, they've done that in New Jersey with the form interrogatories. I'm not sure about New York, but they've done that in New Jersey, and then you can add to them. In federal courts, they just limit the interrogatories, and also they limit the amount of deposition days. You have one deposition day because people used to like to pose for the big firms for 10 days, and it was abusive. So it's an attempt to limit it. But if you have good reason to do more, you just go to the judge and say,
you got to convince the court. I like that because
I do too.
It forces good lawyering rather than lazy lawyering.
Yeah, and the form interrogatories generally are for hit and run cases, but car accident cases or like this. They're for cases like this. They're not for your like when I did employment discrimination, you couldn't use those form interrogatories.
Yeah, same with sexual harassment, wrongful termination. There's not much in there that would apply.
Right, not much would apply. And then this is a biggie. I want to read the whole thing, but this was the medical examiner statement on case number 2025-14252. You may ask, okay, chat, what case is that? Okay, dun 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 dun.
I'm going to be scared for the person who knows that number by heart.
Dun 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 dun. I'm not seeing it yet. Dun
Yeah,
dun.
I'm actually kind of glad.
Dun 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 dun. Okay, it's the case involving David, okay, and Celeste, all right? That's the medical examiner's case. Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the medical examiner on November 24th, and we didn't get to that here today. By the way, put a kibosh, so to speak, security hold on the case, no records or details associated with the case, including the cause and manner of death or the medical examiner's report can be released or posted on the website until further notice. And it goes on, but the reason for that is they are saying basically that there's been a whole bunch of stuff about her being dismembered and cut up and all that's not true is what they're trying to say. Is whether she's frozen. So they don't want any more leaks, any more suggestions at all. So they've put a hold on everything. So while they want to maintain their transparency, if you go to the bottom here, they want to maintain their transparency on the case. And while we're committed to transparency, the information will be made once the court order is lifted. So there's been a court order placed on it as a result of the medical examiner asking that the court order be placed on it. So we're not going to hear anything more about Celeste unless it's going to be coming from the medical examiner's office once they release their report. Okay.
Well, obviously, it is a bizarro case where people are going to be speculating rampantly about how does this young girl end up dead? How does she wind up in the frunk of his Tesla? I mean, this is not a normal case, and so I can see how people would start taking little tidbits of information and blowing it up. So.
Yeah. I mean, everyone wants it. Everyone wants a mystery. So we have to get to 11 more subscriptions. So let's look before we go back to Kelsey Fitzsimmons with the final. But let's look. Yesterday at the on the chat, you all asked me to go to the store, okay, and get some stocking stuffers. Okay, I have to kid you not. Somehow I have now been, and we can go through these. This is going to have to control this for me, okay. Everyone wanted, who was it that wanted, and I have the names here, except that Jersey Girl Trey wanted a car window cling. But guess what? We worked through a company called Fourth Wall, and they didn't have any car window clings. Okay. All right. But somebody else wanted a magnet. So we gave a magnet. And there's also was a request to have a whole line with Michael's tagline when we leave the show. Please try to do the right thing. So last night, in the middle of the night, I was designing things as if I don't have enough to do with my law practice and with the show. Okay, sleep is one of those things that somehow I'm not getting. All right, but please try to do the right thing. So I just yes, okay, yes. I wanted a tagline. Yes, you got the tagline. Here's one with the tagline. Okay, that's a magnet because somebody else wanted a magnet. Okay, so I put it right there. Now, let me go. Oh, I'm getting the magnet. Okay, all right.
I think I'm going to get a magnet.
Yeah, you have to get a magnet. Okay, let's do the next one, Missy. Can we go to the actual website because I can't see this one. Oh, here we go. I guess. All right. Well, let me look at this one. This one actually is, I think, if I'm looking at this right, is this the one? There you go. This is the limited edition. It's a limited edition because it says. And maybe it relates to how I'm feeling about cases right now and how people are bringing cases and how cases are being resolved. But it says justice is a mother dollar signer. Okay.
I can't fill that. I'm not good at those fill-ins. I'm not sure what that means.
A limited editions, I think it's a long sleeve shirt, heavyweight. And it came from the fact that a couple of weeks ago, my husband and I saw Oedipus on Broadway, and I showed you the thing, and it said truth is a mother. And had a little different technology. They're different editions. But I was thinking to myself that justice can be too. It can be for if we get it right, we get it wrong. So this is limited edition. This is not for you to show the kids or buy for the kids and it only came in black. There's nothing. There you go. There you go. So I designed that last night. Now, hopefully the quality is okay. It told me that the justice is a M word is a little bit blurred, and I thought that was a good thing. Okay, so just so you know,
I might have to check that one out too. I'll check that out.
Check that out. I think that's amazing. And here we go. You all wanted beanies. Okay, so I got you more than one beanie because you all wanted Domino.
Oh, look at that.
And Tubi. Okay, so here's Domino and Tubi on a beanie that has like little lines in it. I forget what they called it. What do they call it? Heading your an organic beanie. Well, this is organic. So there you go. You can look like either the guy or you can look like her. Put it on and you have Domino and all. So these are all like stocking stuffers. Okay. And then we go to the next one, the next beanie. The next beanie, because you all wanted another beanie. Missy's controlling this, and here it is, another beanie. And this is like an embroidery logo. These cost a little more when they're embroidered.
I got the regular ball cap with that logo on it, which is a nice embroidered patch.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Right. Yeah. It's a little different quality, and it's black, and it's got the little top coming up the top instead of the little fur. There you go. And so I put that one together. It'll probably come back to me. It'll have to approve it for being an embroidery. Okay. On it. So then we go next is socks, and this is Donnie Not Wahlberg. Donnie Not Wahlberg. I know we had one pair of socks, but I gave you more socks. Okay, I gave you these socks, and this is kind of interesting because it has two separate Justice Serve TV logos on it. Okay, these are great stocking stuffers. There you go. You got two different logos on it. We have a number of different logos, and these can be stuffers. And I said no, stocking stuffers, no pun intended, when I wrote up the description. Then we go to the next pair because Donnie Not Wahlberg, you said you wanted socks. Yes, ask for socks. I give you socks. Okay, and there is socks with the mascots. There they are, Tubi and Domino. There. I think Michel Bryant, you may have to buy these for the
definitely
family
might have
too.
to. Yeah, I probably have
you
to.
have to buy these for the
get a few
family.
sets of those.
Thank you. Donnie Logan said thank you, Fabio. And then you love the rib. Somebody loved the rib beanies. Yeah, one of them was the rib beanies. Yeah. What else did I do? This is the magnet right over here. Is that the magnet? Or is that the sticker? Oh, this is the sticker. This
is the sticker, the same thing. Okay,
the sticker.
I got you.
Please try to do the right thing. That's your try to do the right thing edition. And then we put it on a mug. I took off one of the mugs, and here's what I did. I took off a mug that was not microwave safe. And I said, why did we have a mug that wasn't microwave safe and dishwasher safe anyhow? So I took that off. Okay. I said, I would never buy a mug that's not microwave and dishwasher safe. So this one's microwave and dishwasher safe. And here you go. It's please try to do the right thing with Michel Bryant's tagline right there on that mug. Okay. Another stocking stuffer. And then go right ahead. We think we have one more here. This is your, well, maybe not. Maybe there's more. This is the magnet. Here you go. Here's the magnet. Here, there's three magnets actually. Here's the magnet with the original logo, magnet number 3. Go ahead, Missy. Then there's a magnet with a Justice Serve, please try to do the right thing tagline. And then we have the third magnet right there. And that's just please try to do the right thing without the Justice Serve TV.
Oh, I
logo.
see. Okay.
In addition to all the other things that I did last week, which I ordered, by the way, there's the collar for Domino and Tubi. There's iPhone cases. There's another pair of socks down here with just our logo on it. I know there's been a lot of action on the hoodies, the new hoodies, the pink and the and then of course I ordered. You're going to be seeing me wearing it. The red little crop top. I'll probably put it under different things. Then there's this one with the other red tie dye. You know, I am a hippie, and of course the baby things.
And I did get.
You know,
I ordered that, and I just got that.
And you like it?
Well,
And
I haven't tried it on yet. But yeah.
We'll wait to see that. Quite frankly, if Kelsey Fitzsimmons had her baby, we'd probably buy a couple of those for her. But we're not going to give it to.
I wonder if we can give one to Justin. Think he would use it?
Yeah. And then of course the other things that were also brand new that I put up last week that you'll see. And this is the bag, so Michael can have his thing. So I just wanted to let you tell that I was.
You've been busy.
Missy says she feels like that anyway. But all of you asked last night. And, you know, I thought I was going to have tonight off. And so I did this. So whatever else you want, you have to tell me. You can write us at justiceservetv@gmail.com. Okay. I'm kind of like a Chanel hippie, right? You know, I took out some of the stuff that had been there, kept some of the stuff that sells, a lot. And then, but if you want more, some of the things that I would want to do is like, I wanted to have like little fluffies, like animals and all. You have to have like a 350 purchase commitment. And I don't see 350 people yet buying them. So, maybe we'll get there at that point, but whatever else you want, let me know. I'll see if Fourth Wall, or you can go on the Fourth Wall site itself and see if they have something that you want us to do in a Justice Serve TV logo. Send it to us on our Gmail address, and we'll try to design it and put it up on the website. Okay. So where are we?
Well, we
by the way,
we
where are we
need
in
9.
subs?
We need 9
Come on,
more.
everybody. Can I get 9 subs for
I
this?
gotta-
This was
I
a
gotta
lot
go
of work
home.
last night. Michael has to go home.
I gotta go home.
And Michael has to go home. And I just want to tell you, coming up, we do have tomorrow night. We do have a special Thanksgiving, or tomorrow day. Is it night or day we're running it? You remember when we
I thought we were
put
just going to
through?
plop it on at 6 because it's kind of the
At
time.
6
most
o'clock.
people are
Okay.
used
Yeah.
to.
We're used to. At 6 o'clock, we have a short Thanksgiving special. You loved our Halloween special. I can't promise you that Michael Bryant's not going to be dressed up as a turkey gobbling his way.
No, this is a little
from the
more
Pebble,
of a snack than a real big show, but
Yeah.
it's very important for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and then of course on Friday we have Doug Weinstein. On Saturday we're dealing with the Mark Sanchez thing, and then we still have the hunt. I will get back to yet. We are going to have, by the way, and probably now is not going to be next week, but there is a new episode series out podcast on the Skakel matter, of which I still represent Michael Skakel. Okay. And Andrew Goldman does it. I'm the star of episode 8. I think they've gone through through episode 6. We have to have him on the show. We're trying to put a date. I was trying to do it for next week, but next week now may be out. So maybe the week after. And another author of a book dealing with the Boston Strangler, Casey Sherman, who did the juror interview. He had emailed us a while back to come on our show, and hopefully we'll get back to him. But I guess that'll be now the week after. And we do have books suggested. If you have books that you're suggested, because we want to, with our book club, Jodine Weber, the Boston Strangler book. We're thinking of doing the Jeffrey book, the Epstein victim, and we're thinking of doing my husband's book, American Autopsy too. So we're all the way through next summer. All right. We just want to let you know that Michael does have a wrap up here to talk about with Kelsey Fitzsimmons, and I think he's frozen. He's frozen. Michael, we kept him on so much that he's frozen. Okay. And I think the thing is that Tim Bradel is very diplomatic. We may have had a very visceral reaction to what we were seeing, but I think he knows a little more. Maybe, sometimes, even though you really don't like what the judge is doing, that maybe you've got the judge in a corner, or the judge has indicated to you something that you can't indicate to all of us out there. So Scott McGinnis, ante up, a like, and sub, it's free. Yes, ante up and sub, it's free. Yes, thank you for talking to me about my hair and makeup. I really appreciate it. Maybe this is what happens when I play poker. I just so happy that I play poker. 8 more subs. Can I get that before we go off the air, please? Can I get that before we go off the air? I really am actually going to cook dinner tonight too. I mean, it's one of those things. I'm practicing and getting ready for cooking Thanksgiving dinner. We all want you, because we probably won't see you live until after Thanksgiving. And I may not see you for next week, because I have that trial that I'm going to be working on and then doing. But we do want you to have an incredible Thanksgiving and give thanks and kiss everybody you know and love, because you never know. As I said to somebody, every day you wake up in the morning is a really good day. So just remember that when you think you're having a really bad day. Because I'm sure when Kelsey Fitzsimmons woke up that morning, she was expecting to have a good day. And look what happened to her and all. So Michael's entered the studio to say good night to everybody. So Michael, I've just said that I was telling everyone have a good Thanksgiving. And if you have a button on the Kelsey Fitzsimmons, we'll let everybody go home tonight after an hour and a half show. Yes, I do play in poker tournaments. I actually cashed in the main series, World Series main event. Thank you. So
Yeah. So
anything?
what I echo whatever you said that I didn't get to hear, and that is that we appreciate you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving holiday, and next week we'll be deep into Brian Walsh and Kelsey Fitzsimmons, because the middle of next week the SJC is going to make a decision. We can only hope that it's the right one. Okay. And in the meantime, try and catch some of the little specials we dribble in between now and next week.
That's right. And subscribe.
We got close, doggone it. We got within 6.
We got within 6. Subscribe, like, share, and notify. And I'm turning over to the famous tagline.
And we are Just to Serve TV, so please try to do the right thing.
Riding flames, they charge with mine.